the Moment Company as a business. Can you tell us how the Moment Company and how your business has been impacted in the recent weeks?
Yeah, so I guess I'm facetiously saying, you know, all of the above, because, you know, I'm a consumer and an observer in these strange times as well, but we're also a brand, and we're a new brand, and we're a new consumer brand. So we have a very interesting time to be looking to launch a product in these kind of current circumstances. So I'm going to kind of touch on whereas Moment Company in our current situation, we've had to adapt to the COVID situation. And for those of you that don't know the Moment Company, we are all about creating access through tools and products to more mindful practices, and creating a more mainstream set of tools and advice that help people understand how to bring kind of moments of calm, mindfulness and meditation into their everyday busy lives. And we also want to work with healthcare specialists and experts to build a body of evidence that show that just taking little moments of calm, of joy, of fun in your day can have long-term mental health benefits. So extremely pertinent to where we're all sitting at the moment. Now, our launch product is this 2-second plug, this beautiful Moment Pebble, which is a light activated breathing device which helps you reduce your heart rate and bring calm. However, due to COVID-19, we can't get these beautiful, very timely products into people's hands due to obvious manufacturing challenges that we have at the moment, like many businesses around the world. So what would be a peak advertising opportunity for us and a peak advertising and launch time for us is something that we're now having to redress. So to that end, in the last few days, I wouldn't exactly call it a pivot. I would say we've accelerated secondary and supporting business that we had alongside our Launch Pebble product. And that was to create access to content of different types of mindful and meditation tools and techniques that can help our current audience and our backers and our followers, but also help us create an authentic loyalty following right now, because to some of the previous points we've heard, we can add value into people's everyday lives coming from a place of authenticity to our business, which is about creating mental health and mindful tools, and to get our word and our voice out there at this important time, but without pushing a product.
Nice. So, and actually, that's a question that I was quite pertinent that I was thinking about. It's like from your opinion, why is bringing mental health conversations into the home? Why is that more important now than ever before?
Well, I mean, I think we can tell just from the mental health trends and the fact that mental health, mindfulness, wellness are all mainstream phrases and words that run off everybody's lips at the moment. Mental health is a big push from everyone from the NHS. So we had Every Mind Matters last year, which had great celebrity endorsement. I'm not exactly a fan of the message of mental health means that you have to be struggling in order to seek help. I think there's also a place to say mental wellness is in the same way that Joe Wicks gets you moving on the sofa. You don't have to be overweight to want to eat healthy and be fit. And we should look at mental health in the same way, and that we shouldn't, you know, wait till we're depressed or wait till we feel we're living in that black and white space in order to want to improve our minds and want to seek out these tools that can help our mental well-being. So it's a huge trend right now. So what we would call westernized mindfulness and meditation and mental health. So that includes everything from yoga all the way through to the more kind of woo-woo, if you like, and the kind of
yeah.
Last year it was the fastest growing trend in the US. And it's a $2 billion industry is projected to be, or it was before COVID, by the year 2022. You can only imagine the acceleration that we're going to see, not only now when we're all isolated, but I also think about how we re-enter the new world safely. You know, you think about the astronauts coming back from space, going that compression chamber. What does support look like to us when we go back out into that real world? And I loved Kate's honesty and emotional delivery that she gave in her chat earlier around that kind of hope and opportunity. And I really do think that those two things need to come together. So apparently 85% of us are stressed in some way, shape or form in the UK at the moment. So meditation, mental well-being has never been more important, but it also doesn't have to be serious. And I think that's the point that I'm trying to make. You know, fun, lightheartedness, everything that Mary was saying about entertainment, I think is equally important for our mental health.
That's really nice. And then, like, actually thinking about, you know, you mentioned the others and you know, the focus around influencers. So as a business, you work closely with issues of mental health. What are some of the recent trends you've seen, and how does social media and influencers play a part in this?
Well, if I may, I'll just stand up and show my t-shirt. I'm wearing my Caroline Black Be Kind t-shirt today.
Very
so
good.
What better way to embody the impact that celebrities and social media platforms have on raising awareness and creating an environment for people to have a conversation. You know, this is Keith Lemon's work of art to support Samaritans off the back of honouring, you know, Caroline Flack. Big fan of Russell Brand and everything he does in the addiction and recovery space. You look at someone like Rio Ferdinand and the impact his BBC documentary around grief and recreation of the family had. Reese Witherspoon has just kicked off a great series, Shine On, in the US, which is fantastic. Love her. And they all are adding value and authenticity because of their own stories. And I think that the place that they play is of being the signpost. So they're not necessarily the end destination. They're perhaps not giving you the practical advice that you need, but they're certainly the signposts of where to seek that out. And they are also creating that vulnerability and environment that opens up a more open and frank conversation. And, you know, as we've heard earlier today, I think, Maria, you're saying it's a bit of a leveling the field. You know, everyone's experiencing the same, and I think that that's really important. I do think some people can get it wrong. Please enter side left Ant Middleton. He kind of backed up his brands this week with comments around COVID without being informed. And you can see, you know, he said it didn't impact him, doesn't impact me, I don't care about it. And you've seen him in recent days try to redress this by getting dressed up in his army gear and trying to pull on his previous persona and heartstrings, and it's really falling flat. So it's going to be interesting to see how he picks this up again, and his TV shows come out, and to see how that's going to resonate for his previous loyal audience. But I would say there's kind of two types of celebs in this space. There's the Russell Brands and the Reese Witherspoons and the Fern Cottons and all of those guys that do this great signposting job. And then there's also the professional celebrities, I call them as well. So people like Brene Brown, Jason Stevenson, who's someone I meditate with almost every day, Tony Robbins from a life coaching perspective, and they have become celebrities because of the success and appeal of the practical advice that they give. And I would say for all those celebs that are the signposters, there's a big army of professional help that they've sought underneath them, and that's the group that at Moment Company we are looking to engage with. So those that can actually give the practical advice, and I like to think of them as the more quiet professionals. They're the guys that are offering that intimate, unique practical tips to help people with their mental health, and also love the fact that we've also this morning talked about financial practical tips, parenting. You know, stress doesn't always have to be the traditional mental health triggers that we imagine. Just understanding, can I take a mortgage break? Who do I seek out that advice from? And people being very practical with their support, I think is important right now as well.
I think it's really powerful, actually. And to your point, yeah, these are all stress bites right now, and it doesn't come under the umbrella of mental health, but it does cause stress. And yet mortgage break, I'm quite sure, is quite topical for a lot of people on this call. So then thinking about Moment Pebble, how will this period in time impact you as a business, the Moment Company?
Well, as I said up front, we are a physical device business who's not able to get our physical device in people's hands. So we have accelerated our content program. So we are reaching out to everyone from psychologists, psychiatrists, yoga teachers, meditation experts, breathing and breath work, professionals who are personal influencers. There are people that are used to a more one-to-one environment, and as I say, they're kind of like the quiet social force, and we are creating a platform that will allow them to give their tips and tools directly to a mass audience and to our followers. And I think that that's really important to us, that it's not a deviation from our brand. It's very much in our tone. It's very much accessibility for all. We're going to be producing content that reaches the whole spectrum of what mental wellness means to people and the practical advice that we can give. And then it allows us, when we are ready to launch our physical products and are ready to go back into the world of advertising, we have a brand, a following, and an authenticity that will resonate with our audience. And so that's really how we have adapted our launch in these times. But I would also like to just take a little brief moment to comment on some of the other speakers this morning that talked about, I think it was Scott that said, deeds, not words. That's exactly, you know, what I think is important. We want to give people this free content because it's not about what we say, it's about what we do that will be remembered. Brewdog, I think, are just awesome, and it's not just because they're Scottish, but they to me just epitomise positivity. You know, even just yesterday they gave out their recipes for all of their beers, so you can do it at home. Like, I just love all the different ways that they're reaching out to that consumer base. People taking salary cuts, that's huge as well. But when this is all said and done, and it will be over, and we all come back to the real world, I really hope that brands take on board this time of change, not just from a marketing perspective and what they give out to their consumers, but they follow that through to their staff as well, and everybody that touches their business, their suppliers, how they pay their creditor, whatever it might be. I have personal experience of brands that are consumer facing, that tell a wonderful story and have posters on the wall about how approachable and how fun and environments they are to work in, and they have no programs to deliver that. And they have nothing that shows the people that work for them that they walk the talk. So yes, it's important from a direct to consumer perspective that brands get that messaging right, but I feel it's equally as important that they get that message right to their staff. Now, do you really need to furlough? How do you communicate to your teams in this time, which all adds to the mental health story as well, and that resonates longer than just the time that we're locked inside.
Yeah, I think that's a really wonderful point there about it's a real opportunity, not just in terms of how they find their values and purpose, but they carry that on. Yeah, and you know, exactly, just paying people time. There's one question last actually that I was just thinking about. So for everybody listening, where can people get moments from you guys?
Literally today is our launch day. We have 3 pieces of content that are going out, and we're focused around a wonderful chap called Benedict Beaumont, Ben, who's a Brit living in Canada, and he is a breathwork specialist, and he's created a series of bespoke videos to us and exercises which focus on lung health, which for COVID-19 is super important. So there's a number of different ways. I'm actually going to be posting on LinkedIn, which is not a usual forum for, you know, that we think of as a social influencing forum, but I also am passionate about bringing these meditation and mindful tools into the workplace. We'll all do them at home now as part of our working day. How can we make sure that we carry those on into our workplaces when we return? So there'll be LinkedIn, Instagram, of course, and our IGTV, our Moment Pebble Facebook page, and also our momentpebble.com blog series as well. So all the usual suspects of our social media platforms.
And Fiona, thank you very much. Congratulations for launch there. I didn't actually realise it was such an auspicious day for you.